Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Lysha and I'm the owner of LyshaB Creative. Today's tutorial is another hand-painted tumbler design, a little bit different than I've done before, but my goal in 2025 is to get that much better at hand painting florals. So we're back at it again and I'm going to show you the things that I've learned, the things that work for me, and hopefully they work for you too. So everything I use in today's tutorial will be listed and linked down in the description box, but let's go ahead and jump right into today's tutorial. So we are starting with a true 32-ounce travel tumbler. So this is from the Tipsy Magnolia, and I do have a discount code with them, so I will share that down in the description box as well to save you a bit of money while you're shopping for your tumblers. I love their tumblers because they come in such amazing different designs that you don't see with other vendors. So Tipsy Magnolia definitely has a special place in my heart when it comes to these style cups. So we are going to prep our tumbler just as we normally would. So we are sanding the surface with any grit of sanding block will work fine. You can also use any of those prep products that you have seen to prepare your tumbler. So I am going to do my typical sanding and then I will clean it off with 91% rubbing alcohol before we move on. So I decided for this cup that we're going to tape off the bottom. So I don't want any glitter, any paint, anything to be on the bottom of this cup, just like a clean bottom finish. And actually when I first started my journey, I actually really did not love the look of like the stainless steel bottom. And now that I've been doing cups for so long, I have kind of gone in the opposite direction that I'm really starting to love like the taped off bottom look. I don't know, there's something so like sleek about it. I'm not really sure why I've gone in that direction, but you know, things change for you. Anyway, we've gone ahead and just run our cup along the edge of my cup edging tool just to trim off the excess tape, remove that top layer, and then we're going to spray paint this with our Skinny Dip color from Color Shop. While we're waiting for that paint to dry, we're going to go ahead and mix up some glitter here. So I'm using 3 glitters here. I'm using Boho Island from Lysha Creations. This is not available any longer, but you can find any sort of like rose gold style color, which would work perfectly for this kind of color mix. We're using Sweet Dreams by Batty Glitter, and then we're using this like opal white from PBD. I will list them in the description box, of course, so that you guys can snag those ones that are still currently available. So our cup is now dry, and we are going to do the epoxy method for our glitter application. And so I'm going to just measure out my cup. We're doing 5 mLs here. So I'm going to do Flint Sisters Supply Shop Artist Cure. I like the longer working time on my cup when I'm glittering, just so I can make sure that I have enough time to get this thoroughly glittered. And I just feel like I'm able to do that when I use the longer working time formula, so the Artist Cure. So we're going to mix equal parts, part A and part B, for a total of 5 mLs. We're going to mix that thoroughly. We're not really worried though here about the bubbles when it comes to this part of the process, because we're going to be putting such a thin layer on the cup to adhere our glitter. We don't really need to worry about or stress about bubbles right now. It's not going to introduce any bubbles to this layer because this is going to be under glitter. So we're not going to see those mini micro bubbles, even if they do happen to still be on the cup. Okay, so we're going to mix this thoroughly until it's all mixed and there's no ribbons of unmixed epoxy in there, and we've scraped the sides, and then we're going to go ahead and apply this epoxy. So I am applying about all 5 mLs to the cup. This is a bit of a bigger cup, and since we're using a little bit of a chunky mix with the different styles of glitter that we mix together, I want to make sure that there's enough epoxy on here that it's not going to start to roll off the cup, but also that it is going to be thick enough to really allow those chunkier pieces of glitter to lay flat and stick and stay on the cup. So take your time with this process. What I do find when you are doing the epoxy glitter method versus say Mod Podge is I have a tendency to miss spots because it's very easy to just like miss that section of a cup when you're rubbing it all over the tumbler. So take your time, especially around those top and bottom rims where sometimes the epoxy can just kind of pull away just as epoxy sometimes likes to do. So just be mindful of that and really spend some time with that handle area to make sure you get everything thoroughly covered in that epoxy so you can apply your glitter. So now just going over the entire cup with our mix that we just created of all 3 of those glitter colors, and we're going to go ahead and get this entire cup covered, just making sure that we don't have any bare spots along the tumbler that's going to showcase just the spray paint through and not have that pretty gorgeous glitter mix we've created. Now, once we've finished applying all of our glitter here, we'll go ahead and tap off the top of this. Just make sure we have no stray glitter on the cup. We'll go ahead and just tap that off, anything that's not stuck. And then before we set this aside to cure, we do want to make sure we take off all the tape off the bottom so that that doesn't cure to the cup. So we've gone ahead, we've let that cure. I then have put that on the turner and done 2 coats of epoxy here, just the fast set from Flint's Dishes Supply Shop until it was smooth. And now we're going to get ready to do the main event of this cup, which is going to be to apply our paints in a hand-painted floral design. So the first thing I want to do is I want to protect that stainless steel bottom. So I'm just going to retape this section down here with some thin painter's tape, just so that I don't paint the bottom and then have to do cleanup later. And then we'll go ahead and start the painting process. So I will link all of the glitters. I will link all of the paints that I'm going to be using here. These are all folk art paints that I grabbed from Hobby Lobby. They're like matte paints and chalk paints. So they do definitely have a more opaque sort of look to them. So now we're going to go ahead and start the process of the painting. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I have brought up an inspiration post. So that's tip number 1. Find some sort of inspiration for the florals you're trying to draw. That way you have something to refer to, even if you don't go with that exact design. Now for me, I'm going to be creating sort of like this rose look. And so what we're going to start with, the base is going to be a series of sort of like C's. They're not perfect C's by any means. They're kind of like lazy C's, if you will, but that is really going to help us sort of create this rose look, like this petaled look, without needing to like be super detailed. Because again, this is going to be a hand painted look. I am not Picasso. Maybe one day. I'm not quite Picasso though. So this is the easiest way that I have found that works for me to create a flower of rose style that I like best. So we're starting with the lightest color pink here to do our base. We're going to do 2 large roses. And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to build upon this base layer. I'm not really letting it dry. You can if you want to, letting each paint layer dry, but I'm just going to continue to go over this with the different colors. So I'm kind of starting to build the layers of paint, build in the colors. I'm going to go back and forth between my lighter and my darker colors. And at any point in time, you can stop when you are satisfied with how your rose is turning out. I definitely noticed that the more I added, the more dimension there was, but at some point I did start to lose a little bit of that rose look. So I probably could have backed off earlier with the paint than I did. So just another tip there. Once you are satisfied with how it looks, move on. Okay. So I'm going to continue this process until I feel that I'm satisfied. And as you'll notice, I went to the darkest pink and now I'm going back to that light color just to sort of bring out some of that original color, because it was starting to sort of blend into the background and I no longer could see that color. And the idea here with this rose look is that I wanted to have all of the pinks present on the cup within that rose. So I just kept kind of layering until I felt like I had a really pretty mix of all the colors. Now to kind of throw things a little bit, not off the deep end, but just to add a little extra color, I decided to throw in a little bit of lavender purple. I thought that maybe having some accent color in there to play off of the pink would really sort of help bring those sort of C-shaped petals out a little bit more detailed. And it really did create a nice, pretty color, that purple mixed with that pink, and just sort of started to add to that dimension. So for this whole rose, literally what I'm doing is I am going from just C shapes. I'm making those lazy C's every time I add a layer of paint to my rose here. What I will say about this process is it is very therapeutic. So I think before I was really kind of being hard on myself when it came to hand painting florals. I think I just was, I don't know, I was making it more difficult than it needed to be. Now, it doesn't mean that everything that I paint is going to be beautiful, but I really needed to just kind of soak in and really sit with the process and just see what happens as I continue to paint. I think before I was so worried about making it look perfect or making it match my inspiration post that I was really not letting my own creative abilities really shine through. So that was definitely something that has been a little bit of a hindrance for me, right? And not wanting to get back into the hand painting world and made me certainly a little bit hesitant. So the final thing I'm doing with the roses that I do want to mention is I'm going to land with the white as the final color that I add to this. And again, that is just a way to just make these roses pop a little bit more off of that painted base, or glittered base, I should say, just to kind of give it, again, we're going for a little bit more dimension. So now we're going to color and paint my favorite flower. This is a daisy. Okay, so with a daisy, we're taking the same paintbrush that I've been using for the entire process. I'm just cleaning it off with water, and we are going to make sort of like teardrop shaped petals. Okay, so I like to start with one, and then I kind of will just move like a quarter turn every corner until I get to the original petal design. Okay, and I did that twice on the cup before I started going in with my greens to create my petals. Now petals, or not petals, the leaves are where I definitely want to continue to grow. For whatever reason, leaves are just difficult for me. It really is a very similar shape to like a daisy, you know, like a petal of a flower, but for whatever reason, when I have to attach it to an already existed painted area, I tend to struggle. So either my leaves are too tiny or they're massive. I definitely am having issues with just sort of making the size of the leaf fit the flower that it belongs to, but that's a continued work in process that I'll continue to practice and get better at. So I'm just mixing a couple of my lighter greens here to really just add that sort of soft pastel look to the petals that will belong to the roses. And then I did a couple rogue petals too. You're going to see me do like one of those, I don't know what these leaves are called, but just like the long stem leaves. So like a whole row of leaves, if that makes sense, those kind of tiny ones that you see in a lot of floral arrangements. So that's what I'm adding here. And then I do exactly what I did to the rose on the leaves. So I'm starting with that very base color, that sort of pale green, and then I'll go in and I will add some sort of like swatches of the darker green, mix that darker green with a little bit of white to give a little bit more dimension. So just sort of a way to just layer on top of those original colors and just give them a little bit more pop to make it look a little less flat, a little bit more elevated from the cup, and give it just a more, I just feel like it gives it a more well-rounded and more hand-painted look, right? So kind of elevating from what I would say would be my, kindergarten drawings to more of my artistic drawings, I'll say. We're moving from stick figures to stick figures with dresses, we'll say. So anyway, moving along here, we're going to use the tiniest brush that I have to create some really tiny daisies on here. And these are really only going to be like 4 petal flowers, but because they're so small, it's not really going to matter that all 5 petals aren't there. But we're just going to make these really tiny little daisies all around. And I'm going to do that with 3 of the colors here. So I ended up doing all of the pinks. Except for the darkest pink, I think is the only one I didn't do. So we did the light pink, the medium pink, and then I did a few white flowers as well, just to add and fill up some of that background space. For me, as I have been learning how to utilize acrylic paints in a hand painted way, I think sometimes I feel like I need to fill up the entire canvas with all the flowers because I see so many beautiful, artist work of these really beautiful, like layered paintings, right? With all these different flowers and they're all like touching and things. And I'll get there eventually, but sometimes to just fill up that background, it really is just easier to just add some other elements in the background, right? Instead of trying to make everything touch and be laying on top of each other, add some additional elements, add tiny flowers, add dots, add stars, add hearts, whatever kind of just makes sense to you in that moment, add that, as sort of those backgrounds if you feel like your background is a little bit too sparse and open. So now we're going to take some Posca paint markers and we're just going to go through with the yellow, and in all of those teeny tiny little daisies we have all around, we're going to go ahead and add yellow centers to those. Then we'll take our white paint pen and we're going to add some dots to the center of our roses. We're just kind of changing the dimension of how these larger florals are going to look. So we started with roses, and really this really ended up being more of a, oh goodness, I can't think of the flower off the top of my head, but it really turned into kind of a different flower. But again, like, it doesn't have to be a flower that you're used to seeing. You know, you could do a peony and it's bright coral, you know, it could be whatever you want it to be because it is your creation. And then finally, what I'm doing is just to sort of fill up again some of that blank space, I took both the white and the black paint pens and I just added some dots, just sort of some, you know, small dots around just to kind of fill up the space again. Your choice if you want to do this, you don't have to. You also could add some detailing with your paint pens to the actual flowers, maybe adding that as sort of to create the actual outline of the flower, you know, putting those C shapes in the actual flower to just sort of show those different petals if you wish to. I wanted to not do that because I have done that in another tutorial, and I wanted this really to just focus on the painting process, not needing to add all that detail work and still being able to come up with a really beautiful creation. So after we're done with the hand painting, I hope that was kind of helpful. But of course, if you have questions, you can always comment down below and I will gladly answer any of your questions. And I do hope to do a lot more hand painting designs on my channel, not just florals, but a lot of other things I'm kind of experimenting with that I'd love to just be able to do on the channel just for fun, to show you that painting can be fun. It doesn't have to be stressful. So we're going to go ahead and add our decal. I did just grab this SVG off of Creative Fabrica. I just thought it was a really pretty simple SVG that just really I felt paired well with the florals. And so I've layered the white vinyl over the pink tech wrap vinyl that I have, which I will link down in the description box down below. So we're gonna go ahead and just get this layered on, and that will kind of be the only other thing we add to this cup. We're not gonna add anything else. I just wanted this cup to really have the hand painted floral be the star of the show, and I think that I accomplished that. So once we remove the transfer tape off of this is ready to go on the turner for its final coats of epoxy, which I'm going to show you the process of here. So we are going to be adding Flint Scissors Supply Shop Artist Cure for our final coats. I always do 2 final coats, of course, when it comes to our final coats of epoxy. So my final coats are anywhere between 20 to 30 mLs, and it really is dependent on the size of the cup. So for this cup, I probably will use about 25 of the 30 mLs that I'm mixing up currently. And then my final coat, as we like to call it, will be another 25 mLs to just make sure everything is completely smoothed. So we're going to go ahead and apply our epoxy here. I do encourage you, at least I do here in New York, I always tend to need to warm up my epoxy because my space does get quite cold, although I do try and keep it as warm as possible. But it really does help with the mixing process if you do warm up your epoxy, and you can simply do that by either purchasing a bottle warmer and using that to warm up your epoxy bottles, or what I like to do is I literally just have 2 tall cups of hot water that I just set my epoxy bottles in, leave that for about 10 minutes, and then it is so much easier to be able to mix that epoxy thoroughly because this is a thicker viscosity epoxy, and it really just allows you to really better see to the you know, the bubbles and things, and make sure it's thoroughly mixed so you don't end up with ribbons and things and unmixed epoxy. So once our epoxy is applied, we'll torch this, we'll remove that bottom tape down below, and that was kind of it. So after my second final coat, this was the final result, and I think it came out adorable. I'm very proud of myself. This has kind of been a long time coming, and I do want to continue to work on hand painting other designs, not just florals, but I'm so happy with how this floral design came out. You'll have to let me know what you thought of today's design down below in the comments. And of course, you know, I will be back next week again for another tutorial. Bye!